The class menagerie. It was a landmark day in intergalactic relations. The prestigious University of Zoral had opened its doors to Earthlings, the first species from the Sol system to be invited to join their interstellar cultural exchange program. Humanity, ever eager to make an impression, sent its best and brightest to attend. Among them was Dr. Elena Rivers, an anthropologist with a knack for bridging cultural gaps, and a Labrador retriever named Max. From the moment Dr. Rivers walked into the classroom, Max trotting loyally at her side, the murmurs began. The professor, a dignified, multi-eyed Zelleran named Orvtik, paused mid-lecture. His 4 tentacles twitched in unison, a sure sign of confusion among his species. "Excuse me, Dr. Rivers," Orvtik said, his voice rippling like a pond disturbed by a pebble. "What is that?" Dr. Rivers, accustomed to such reactions, smiled and patted Max's head. "This is Max. He's my pet." The classroom exploded in a cacophony of alien chatter. The luminescent Frentons blinked their bioluminescent signals furiously, and the reptilian Draxons flicked their forked tongues in disbelief. A blue-skinned Srovarian student leaned forward, her 3 antennae vibrating. "You enslave other species for companionship?" she gasped. No, Dr. Rivers laughed. "We don't enslave them. Pets are part of our families. Max is my friend. He lives with me, sleeps in my home, and eats food I prepare." The murmurs turned into outright shock. Orvtik raised a tentacle to silence the room. "So you allow a non-sentient creature to share your dwelling? And this is normal among your people?" "Yes," Elena said. "We love our pets. Some humans have cats, birds, or even snakes. They bring us joy, comfort, and a sense of connection to nature." A hulking Zarnak in the back row raised one of its chitinous claws. "If they are not sentient, how do they contribute to your society?" "Well," Dr. Rivers began, "they don't contribute in the traditional sense, but they make us happy. They provide emotional support, and we care for them in return." Max, sensing he was the center of attention, wagged his tail and barked cheerfully. The sound caused a few smaller aliens to recoil, their chromatophores flashing in alarm. Max trotted over to Orvtik, tail wagging, and sat politely, gazing up at the professor with his big brown eyes. Orvtik hesitated before extending a tentative tentacle toward the dog. Max gave it an enthusiastic lick. "Fascinating," Orvtik said, retracting the tentacle and inspecting the slime coating it. "This behavior, this lick, is a form of bonding." "Yes," Dr. Rivers replied. "It's a sign of affection." The Srovarian student tilted her head, antennae twitching. "Your species has a truly perplexing social structure. You form attachments to creatures that provide no intellectual stimulation or technological advancement?" Dr. Rivers smiled. "They give us something technology can't. Unconditional love." The room fell silent as the aliens processed this concept. Finally, a Frenton at the front blinked a slow, rhythmic pattern of blue and green. "Perhaps this is why your species is so socially cohesive. You practice nurturing even outside your own kind." Orvtik nodded, his tentacles rippling thoughtfully. "A truly remarkable adaptation. Perhaps there is more to this interspecies relationship than we initially assumed." By the end of the lecture, Max had won over the entire classroom. The Draxons admired his agility, the Srovarians marveled at his emotional complexity, and Orvtik even invited him to a follow-up seminar on interspecies empathy. When Dr. Rivers left the University of Zoral that day, Max trotting happily beside her, she couldn't help but smile. Humans might have been the newcomers to the galaxy, but thanks to Max, they'd shown their alien classmates something truly unique: the simple, profound beauty of love without strings.